President, distinguished delegates, thank you so much for the opportunity and the honour to brief the Council once again today. And I would wish to start, with your leave, by recognising and expressing my sincere thanks for the attendance of His Excellency, the Permanent Representative of Libya to the United Nations, for being present. Mr. President, this is my second visit to Libya, and it's the second time I've had the opportunity to brief the Security Council from the soil of this land. And it's only right to start by thanking the authorities here in Libya, the President, the Prime Minister, the Attorney General, for facilitating the trip, for the engagement and the support, and the very constructive discussion, some of which I intend to touch upon in my remarks this morning. I must also wish to thank my colleagues here in Unsmill for facilitation of the mission. This morning, I had the honour, my team had the honour, of engaging with victims of Tarhunah. 2 years ago, I met them in Tarhunah itself. I spoke to them, and they spoke very candidly and movingly about their experiences, what they had suffered. I walked in the areas where their loved ones were tortured and killed, heard the accounts of calculated cruelty, and went to locations that became mass grave sites where bodies were dumped after their lives were snuffed out. And today, one individual said something very simply and very true, that every household in Tarhunah has a victim. Every person that detailed a loss has suffered an end to their universe, and heartbreak was palpable and sincere, even as they, in very dignified terms, expressed their sorrow, but also their expectations of us and of the Council and of Libya itself. And what was clearly expressed was a demand. For all the moving accounts, they have a steely determination, they have a clear conviction that justice and accountability and fair processes are essential for themselves, their families, their community, and for Libya at large. And I think that realization of movement also gave rise to renewed hope that things are moving in a direction away from talk to action and the possibility of justice that they can feel and see and be part of. As detailed in the written report that we have placed before the Security Council, on the 4th of October of this year, the respected judges of Pretrial Chamber 1 unsealed the warrants for the arrest of 6 individuals from the Kaniyat armed groups that we say are responsible for many Rome Statute crimes committed in Tarhunah. And through independent investigations, through the excellent work of the team, through ever-improving cooperation with the Libyan authorities, we have uncovered and identified evidence of war crimes, including murder, outrages on personal dignity, cruel treatment, torture, sexual violence and rape that was committed, we say, by the 6 individuals in Tarhunah. And in this very profoundly moving meeting with victims themselves, mothers and fathers, siblings that had lost family members, we saw not only the determination I referenced, but a demand to me that I use this microphone, this platform that I've been honored to be given to speak to you, to speak in their name, not in my own, to ask you to convey to you their clear message, which was that they are pleased with the warrants, but what they want, what they are pleading for, what they are demanding is your help, to help with the arrests of those individuals and to ensure that there are trials that they can be part of. Trials when they can give evidence and speak for the violations that they've endured and for the family members that they've buried or the family members that they are in search of, that are missing, whose bodies have not been identified or located. Through the tracking activities of my office, through the liaison with the Attorney General's office, we have identified a number of those individuals subject to the warrants of arrest. We know where they are. We know where they are. What we need, as the victims have asked for, is your assistance to ensure that the judicial orders of the International Criminal Court, the orders of the pre-trial chamber, are executed, and those individuals can be arrested and brought and take part in fair, independent and impartial trials. And I stand ready to work with everybody, the government of Libya, people, communities, authorities in the north and the south of Libya, in the east and the west, members of the council, obviously, state parties and non-state parties alike, to make sure that those expectations of victims can be realized. I think there is a glimmer of hope in the darkness for the people of Tarhunah. And through this visit over these last 2 days, I think we have seen also a new paradigm shift in the nature of the progress that is actually possible. Progress is discernible and can be identified. And over the key lines of inquiry relating to this situation, we are also moving at speed in relation to investigations into detention facility crimes, crimes relating to the 2014 to 2020 period. And I confirm and can alert the Council with respect that we anticipate that in the next reporting period, there will be further applications for the warrants for the arrest of individuals relating to these inquiries. Some applications may be secret and ex parte if there are arrest opportunities. But we're also continuing to engage with other national authorities, including the joint investigative team that is referenced in the report, to make sure that we can support domestic accountability efforts equally, including in relation to migrants in Libya. And I can confirm that we remain on track in implementing the roadmap that I laid out in my last briefing, which aims to conclude the investigative stage of proceedings, of investigations by my office by the end of 2025. Now, this is an ambitious but achievable goal. It will not happen without Libya. It is absolutely dependent upon the continued, the deepening partnership with the Libyan authorities. We can't achieve this at all in isolation. It can be achieved by working together with our partners in Libya, with civil society, and with third states. My meetings over the last 2 days have reinforced my conviction that there is a window of opportunity which requires imagination, it requires trust to be reforged and rebuilt so that we can move forward on that potential and to realize it. And I think in particular, the excellent cooperation, the excellent meeting I had with the Attorney General of Libya yesterday really was encouraging. In fact, we took, I think, some real steps in our discussions to talk about tracking of individuals, how we could build partnerships, the realization that there can be trials, there need to be trials in The Hague and also trials in Libya. My openness for Libyan lawyers and investigators to appear with us in any trials in The Hague, and a willingness for my office to support Libyan domestic processes where that is thought helpful and where that could add value. And indeed, there's many exciting initiatives that Libya is doing itself, including the Attorney General said the intention in March of next year to open a law enforcement and cyber training center. And we also had discussions about how we could help support that initiative and that center that could have wide implications in terms of law enforcement here in Libya. But based, Mr. President, distinguished delegates, on those discussions, I was really delighted to confirm what the Attorney General himself made public yesterday, his announcement of a new mechanism that will be established to support the coordination of actions by my office and his in the fields of investigations, prosecutions, and complementarity. And I think very importantly, and great credit to the Attorney General, it was his suggestion, in addition to the Attorney General's office and my office, this will embrace other national bodies and other authorities relevant to the fight against impunity in Libya. So this new mechanism that he announced yesterday evening is one that I hope has some latent potential that we can discuss, we can work with and speak to in our next report. And I strongly welcome this initiative.